Alright, this video here is going to be about this Arken EPL-4. Okay, now I have the 6x24x50. They make a 4x16, I think, and I've not used one of those. So I can't say anything about it because I've not used it. Never had one. I bought two of these scopes. You see this one on this CZ450 717 Mach 2 barrel, okay? And I've used this in the woods. Not a whole lot, but enough that I can draw some conclusions about it. Okay. I don't see anything really wrong with this scope for the price, boy. This is probably the best thing since sliced bread when it comes to a first focal plane scope. For the money. At 12 power on this scope at 60 yards. If you got a gun good enough, you can shoot the intersections on that target right there, those lines, at 12 power, at 60 yards. You can see them real good. The backlight is grand on this scope, okay? It's better than that Element Nexus. It actually goes bright enough to give you some daytime shooting should you decide to use it or need to use it. Okay. Now, is this scope necessarily as good as a $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 scope? The answer is no. No, it's not. But probably the only place where this scope suffers is when there's sun glare. So you might be running a sunshade on this at times versus one of those higher dollar scopes to get equal performance. But you could have enough, the glare could be to a point where even the sunshade, you know, might not get this up to snuff compared to a more expensive scope with a sunshade. Alright, it's got a dot in the center of the reticle. I wish it had the cross, like the Element Nexus, but it has the dot. For stationary target shooting, like a squirrel perched up, long distance, very good setup. If you put this scope on a 17 HMR, which I don't have a barrel for this gun in that, but I've had a HMR, okay. A coyote at 200 yards with this scope would be like taking, it'd be so easy of a shot, okay. From a rested position, it would be a no-brainer. Alright. No-brainer. Now, using this scope, just to put this into perspective for you so you can understand it maybe. In the squirrel woods, you probably won't want to run this scope much less than 8 power. The reticle and the dot space where you see everything comes to life at about 8, maybe 9. You can shoot it lower than that, but that's where the dot and, you know, the reticle comes, you know, it starts spreading apart on you and you get a real good sight picture in there. That's my, you know, I'll walk around with this scope on 9 power with the leaves off. With this 17 Mach 2 rifle right here, which will reach a squirrel out to about 150, okay? I probably would never have to adjust this scope over 12 power to make a successful shot. That's about all I would have. So the 4x16, if it behaves like this one does, then it would be an ample scope and it's a little cheaper. Alright, it does. This thing has a 10 yards on the parallax wheel. I don't think that EPL-4, which costs more, and it's a 56mm objective, 25 power. It costs more, it's heavier. It's probably got better glass in it. Okay. But this right here, for an air rifle, a good shooting rimfire rifle that you want to reach out, if you want to be a long range 22 long rifle hunter and you got a good shooting one of those, you can use this scope and reach squirrels out there at farther distances. Alright, got real nice turrets on it. 0 stop. The backlight setup on this is nice because it's out here on this outer knob, okay? Levels 1 through 6. And 6 is bright if you need it. Up in the middle of the day on the face of a tree, it's handy, okay? So yeah, this right here, I know I was watching a gentleman's video a while ago, you know, and he said, oh, there's a lot of hype on these. Well, it's true. Okay, and of course, you know, you're going to have some people out there, you know, I've done seen some, oh, you know, it's bullshit and it can't keep up. Well, it can't keep up with those $2,000 scopes. But it's more from a glare perspective than anything else, okay? So if you're hunting early in the morning, late in the evening, lower light conditions, well, that's not really a factor with the glare, okay? I was out with this yesterday in a situation like that. Sort of like how it looks right now. See how overcast it is? Well, that's when the game likes to stir. Alright, but it does come, this comes with a sunshade, by the way. You don't pay extra. You don't get no level with one, okay? It's got a fast focus eyepiece back here. Now the eye box on this thing, you know, you got to get behind it. It's not real forgiving, I'll say that much, okay? I started using this a few days ago after using the Element Nexus for a considerable time, you know, and just 2 outings with this scope right here, I felt right, you know, I got used to it. To get on target, you know, you change scopes, reticles and stuff, you know, it takes you a little time. Well, 2 little short hunts, boom. Alright? Like I give $3.29 for 2 of these a piece, $3.29. I don't think they're on sale anymore. So I may be putting one of these on a little air rifle here soon. We may be doing a little squirrel hunt with an air rifle. I've done it before. I'm not a stranger to squirrel hunt with an air rifle. But I got to get this thing and see what I can do with it. I'm not going to take it to the woods if I can't hit anything with it. Alright? So there you go. So yeah, the hype is, you know, it is fact. This is probably the best scope that's ever been made for the money. This Arken line, okay? But I can only speak really for this scope. I'm not running them other models. I hope you enjoyed.